Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call.
Let's see, which one do I want to start? Sparks?
Here.
Jennings?
Here.
Newman?
Here.
Martini?
Here.
Jankowski?
Here.
Snyder?
Here.
Schlapp?
Here. And then Matt is out today, so I guess a motion to excuse Matt from the meeting.
Hey, let's excuse Matt from the meeting.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Agenda additions, dare I ask? Okay, we have a million things that we can cover, but we have limited time, so I guess we have a few things that can be added on new business that we'll cover briefly. We've got a couple updates we can have on the signs already. We can have the discussion on the harvester under new business. Are there things we want to discuss today that are beyond what's currently on the agenda?
Do we want to talk about this goose removal thing as well?
We can do that
on
under,
there?
it's new business,
Oh,
yep.
okay.
C and D, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We can have, let's just, we have a section for septic, so why don't we cover, Jerry, I know you got a pile of stuff you want to talk about. We can cover some of those things, maybe under the future business items. When we get there, we can talk through those things and figure out what we want to take through next. Does that make sense? Sure. Okay. Anybody else have anything you want to add? All right, so just motions to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
All right, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting minutes, I did not read them. I can skim them now. I don't know if anybody had a chance to read them.
They look
Yeah,
great.
they look good.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 16, 2024 meeting.
Seconded.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, call the public, nobody's here. Welcome, everybody. Feel free to come join us this year. We didn't have many visitors last year, which is a good thing. We view that,
Since I've been on the board.
we view that as a good thing.
Yeah.
Less complaints, but by all means, come on down and have a conversation with us. But there's nobody here, so we'll close the call to the public. All right, new business, let's hammer, shrink wrap recycling program.
Well, that doesn't, it's a little early for
Yep,
that.
yep.
But probably in March, I'll start reaching out to them, and I plan to do it again this year if everybody is in favor of that.
Okay.
Because it seemed to be successful the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And we had leftovers last time or no?
Yeah, we have some. We
Okay,
have
so
maybe-
probably
maybe
the
20,
same,
so
go after the same
I'll
amount?
talk to Paige or Tabitha to see how many, and then, yeah, do the same amount. Because I think we ordered like 75 last year. We had a couple, and then we ordered up to 70, a total of 75, so
Okay.
it should work.
So we'll plan to redo it. You're gonna quarterback that play again.
I will do it, yes.
All right. And then it actually starts for anybody that's listening online. I'm sure you're not gonna take
I-
the shrink wrap off your boat in February.
No. It will.
Spring's coming, but not that early.
It will be sometime in May.
Yeah.
We'll have the flyers out probably early May, and then pick up probably mid-May.
Yep. So just as you're removing, as you look for information that we'll post, as you remove the shrink wrap from your boat, you basically get rid of all the tie straps in it, and then we have the ability to recycle the shrink wrap material through this recycling program. So keep an eye out as it gets closer to springtime.
And the bags are big enough for 2 average-sized boats or one large. and then
I've
a
gotten
little bit-
3 in there before.
Have
so
you
you
really?
can-
Okay, yeah, they're
You can
big.
fit a lot of boat covers in them, so.
Yeah.
Anybody that's watching, just be aware, keep an eye out for information. Don't just take the covers off your boat and throw them in the garbage. We can recycle them, and we have a program to do it. All right. Anything else on that? Just the shrink wrap?
No, that's it.
All right, safety fair. This is really our first thing that we get going, so at least spend some time talking about it. I know we had kind of a wrap-up. I don't know if you guys saw, I did do a wrap-up for the council at the end of last year, and I sent everybody the material on that. But, last year we did the safety fair. We had some lessons learned, I think more about timing than anything.
Yeah, we were going to do this to coincide with,
Yeah, so I think the one thing we want to decide is if we want to make it coincide with the 5K, or one of the Tuesdays in the park. I feel like the 5K is a pretty good opportunity if we want to just, and then we could sync up with, who does the 5K? Is it Parks and Rec?
That's fine.
And sync up with them to try and
Is
do
it usually on a Saturday?
Yeah.
You know, good, because the signs we had made said that this.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
The only thing about that, I think it's late enough, it's like I don't know if it's like the Labor Day weekend or something. I don't know, not Labor Day. What weekend is it?
Memorial Day?
Memorial Day
Yeah, we
weekend.
did Memorial.
The
Is that when they do it?
Memorial Day weekend?
Let me see.
Memorial Day. It's in May, right?
It was May 25th last year. So
That's when we did it, or was it back?
that's when the 5K was.
Okay.
It's the 24th this
The
year.
tw-
I
the-
just did their meeting notes last week.
Okay, perfect. So May 24th is the 5K. So I
Is that
think
Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend. So I feel like that was, is an opportunity for us to probably get in front of more people that are already there, right? Without having to draw our own specific crowd. It is a holiday weekend, which stinks, but also they're already drawing a bunch of people for the 5K anyway. My guess is we probably wouldn't be able to get the police boat to participate on that weekend. That'd be a stretch, which we would miss out on, which I thought was kind of a miss this year that we didn't have the police boat there.
Well, we
But
can ask.
we'll ask.
Yeah.
But my guess is people also have their boats in the lake at this point in time.
Right.
So from that or the Tuesdays in the park, I think they start actually later. Let me just see. I don't remember when they start.
Why, aren't we just gonna do it on that day?
Yeah, the 5K
Yeah.
day? Yeah, I would say we could have the discussion, figure out what we want to target.
So do we know, do they have food trucks at the 5K? 'Cause do you know?
They don't normally. Yeah, so the Tuesdays in the park don't start till June, so I think we'd probably want to do this earlier in May and then do it with the 5K.
Yeah.
And then I think we probably just need a better coordination then with the Parks and Rec team that's putting that together, figure out what they have, what they don't have, if they do food, if they don't do food, I think we generally get that blow-up thing. I know they have this kids bubble run thing as part of the 5K too, so get probably more eyes on that. So that is May 24th, so let's try and pencil that in the calendar here. And then from the Parks and Rec side, I guess, Kyle, do you want to start that, discussion with them on
Yeah.
getting that coordinated for May? Let me just see. Voter safety pass.
Is it the 25th or 24th, would we say?
May 24th is what she just said.
Okay.
Let me just see, insert row above. May 24th is 5K. Because last year we did it around May 1st, I think, the safety fair. So it's not, it's a couple weeks later, but it'll probably help us get more people out there.
Yeah, more exposure just because more people are already there.
Okay, so I think we should probably go through, granted, we have plenty of time, it's February, so literally 3 months, but for that safety fair, last time we kind of went through, I said we could go through some of the lessons learned and then go through some assignments again. I think we had some reasonable assignments from last time, but at least so people can start noodling on, their specific aspect of the safety fair. Let me just see what we had lessons learned last. The things that I wrote down as notes from last time is combining it with the 5K, which I think we'll do, try and do it on May 24th. Improve the signs. So did we do new signs last year?
Yeah.
We did new signs last
Yeah.
year. So all I wrote was signs are improved. I didn't know if that means we have to or they were.
No, we did.
Okay.
That's why I was hoping it says Saturday, because I think it says this Saturday.
Okay.
And they're like permanent.
Okay, all right. I wrote that the casting competition was good, and we should keep that, and all that stuff is still there, so I could just assign myself to that one, to do that again. You said need to up the trivia, you did that last time, as it potentially progress through stations and then do trivia at the end and plan out the stations in more detail, so I think that probably would be a good thing if people kind of went around to all the different stuff, and at the end, they had the trivia, so start thinking on how we could up that game.
Because it felt like it was a little low-key, you know, even if it's like a PA system or something, make people aware of what's actually happening.
I think if you guys can put together your stations, like, there's some
Yeah.
pretty well established already.
Yeah.
We can just then pick your brains, piggyback off of you, and be like, hey,
Yeah.
what do you do? What are like 3 things that you ask at your
Yep,
station?
sure, yep.
We'll make that the tribute.
Yep. Road Claramilla felt like the right place. That's where the 5K's out of, so that's no problem. We got the note on the food last time. We just did hot dogs and chips and soda for 75 people. Maybe it'd be more. I don't know. We might have to think about that. We could probably talk to,
them about food.
yeah,
See what
what
Park
they
Rec
do.
turnout usually is for that.
Yeah,
Because that could be quite a bit more hot dogs.
yeah, yes.
Well, also, if they're already doing some things, like if they're already doing their snow cones and food, and,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think our safety fair is gonna influence their numbers
No,
much.
no.
So I think we're just kind of piggybacking off of there. So I feel like if they're already doing food, we'll just kind of let them take the reins on the food,
Yeah.
and then,
I don't think that they
And
usually do
for-
food.
they don't do food?
I think they do like the snow cone machine and they have that like snack, but I don't think they usually do like hot dogs and stuff like that, so.
Okay, so then we would probably have to up the dogs.
So why don't we have, I'll give, you had the food last time, so it
Yeah.
worked out fine. So why don't you just coordinate the date and the food, make sure that we're in alignment with them, understand what they're doing, and come up with the plan?
Well, yeah, I figured I'd kind of talk to them about all the things that we did last year
Yeah.
and see what they have set up and where.
Yep.
And then kind of bring back what happens with the discussion.
Yep. Okay. I wrote that the life jacket thing to me is like the main thing that we do. I can pull that together again. It's not that big of a deal. I said we should redo the knot tying station, but actually do a good job at it. Well, last year we didn't do it all. 2 years before that, it was okay, but it kept falling apart and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like if we have somebody who wants to actually just take that on and build something that has the cleats on it, a table, and that's good if anybody wants to do that. You know, we have boats floating around the lake all the time because people don't tie them up right.
In my yard last year.
Yeah, exactly. But if somebody wants to take that as a project to actually make something with a couple of cleats on it, go to Menards, buy some cleats and some ropes.
I'll build it.
You wanna do it? From,
I like 6 stations, well, boater safety guidelines.
yeah, and just here's how you tie a different knot, here's how you tie the boat up and stuff like this, because we did it, and people actually, and the kids are out there playing with it and stuff like this. But, you know, get a cleat that has the hole in the middle, get a cleat that doesn't, show them how to do this knot and that knot, a couple
Pole
different things.
section too.
Yeah, and we could even talk about like anchoring your boat, because people are constantly drifting around. But something in and around tying and securing the boat. 2 years ago, we did it. I thought it was pretty good, but it was small in scale. And then last year, we didn't do it. I felt like it was something that was missing. But I think if we build something and we have 3 months' time to think about it now, versus trying to pull it off last minute, we could probably do something that's pretty informative and, you know, maybe we can make it fun somehow.
There's not like a size restriction for storage of it. I mean, we're not gonna make
No.
a 30-foot.
No, just like this.
5 to 6 foot.
That's right. Yeah. It doesn't
Yeah,
have
probably.
to. The big thing is making sure last time when we did it, the first thing somebody naturally does after they tie the knot is they pull on it and it would just fall off the table.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And
Because
it was like-
they did,
It was like a
clamps.
table and they clamped it on, but it was janky. So like as soon as you did this, it would fall off, and then you're like constantly all day we were just battling this thing. So
Oh, we
just
can make it. Just make it.
well, yeah, and actually, if you build it, probably what would be better is on one of those, like sturdy picnic tables to anchor it on, maybe.
Yeah.
Like if it's just the flat top, so that way for like storage, like if we store it in the shed, it's not like, if it has legs and everything, it's gonna take up a lot more
Oh, you do
space.
like that. You can do a 2x10 too, with a couple cleats onto it that you put on sawhorses with sandbags.
Yeah.
Hold it in
Either-
place safe.
sounds like you got some ideas. So we'll
Those are turning.
That'll do.
Aaron's on that. Oh, crap. Hold on, I just lost my document. Okay, police boat, I guess we should ping them and see. Who wants to ping that? The chief.
I called you about it.
Okay. See if they'd be willing to bring it. Bounce house, Rob, you want bounce house again?
Did I have it last
Yeah,
year?
you said last year you got somebody who was like $100. didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right, that's right, yeah. I wonder
like a
who
steal.
Gotta remember who I called for that.
The only note I wrote was, Rob has the company, was $100.
Oh, uh-oh, now the pressure's on, I wonder if I put that in my phone. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right,
So, a few things here that I think we should populate. Paul, 2 years ago, you had mentioned about some ice vest safety guys. Do you remember that? We had talked about, it was like the guy that was like tied into the person
Yeah.
that fell through the ice or something. And he was
Yeah.
like, you had mentioned that maybe trying to get in touch with them to see if they wanted to do some kind of discussion or set up or display or something. I don't
want
know,
it?
last year, I don't know what happened with that, but it's
Yeah.
something on the list that never came to, but I still thought would be good, because
Okay.
we always talk about like the summer safety stuff, but there was some stuff around the ice that might be worthwhile.
Yep.
So, I don't know if there's somebody there you want to reach out to?
Yep.
Signs, rods on sides. Da, 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 da. Any other thoughts on what we could do for non-just summer safety stuff? Because, you know, we're primarily, or any other ideas, like we do the life jackets, obviously, we'll do some questions and answers in the trivia thing, we got the knot tying thing. I think if we get some kind of winter ice safety thing, that would be good as well, whether it's this thing that Paul pulls together, if we have another idea, that would be good to maybe bring something more than just the typical summer stuff. I don't know if anybody has any ideas there.
We could actually make something up with presenting the map that we got, kind of using that as a tool, kind of highlight the areas that don't really freeze when the springs come in. That'd be good, just knowledge too, for people to know, like, hey, these areas typically are the last to freeze. So
Right.
heads up, just because it's frozen in the middle doesn't mean it's all the way around.
Last to freeze and first to thaw.
I don't know where those areas are, though. Do you know where those are?
Yeah, go up over there by Benstein, that little point that comes out from, whose house is that? That gentleman fell through a few years ago.
Yeah.
That one too, and you'll see, of course, by the Greenway Drain.
You're talking about that point right, sticking out right there? Like by Ben's thing?
There's like 3 in a
And then on the left side, there's a big deep hole, like 60 feet out there.
Oh, okay.
That's another one that's pretty, I thought was pretty close.
There's a website that's got, it's actually the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources has a whole thing on ice safety.
Oh, perfect. Or we could tie that into, like the ice vest.
All right, so here's what I have so far. Tell me if this is...
Wisconsin, what, I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Wisconsin.
To the brochure.
So, Paul, I'm just going to generically say,
Natural Resources.
I'm just going to generically say that you're going to come up with the idea for what we're going to do for ice-related safety for the safety fair.
Okay,
Whatever the magic that needs to be.
all right.
You know,
Noodle on something, you get 3 months.
we got a safety brochure. I wonder if we could get like a blown-up version of that thing. Or just get a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I'll send you this link.
All right, so what I have is Kyle sync up on the food and the date at a minimum.
And with Parks and Rec.
Yep, with Parks and Rec. Rob will sync up with the bounce house, and I think we already have the signs squared away. You'll do the music again, just bring your speakers, right? That's
Yeah.
pretty much a gimme.
Yeah.
Although we'll sync that up with Parks and Rec as well.
Because, yeah, I wonder if they have something going on.
Yeah.
They might, because a lot of times for those races, they have music playing while the
Yep.
Yeah.
people are
Like
running.
DJ and having fun.
So, yeah,
Make it
so,
a big, pretty
I'll
good
I'll
event.
ask about that too.
yeah.
Do you
Thanks.
want to do a signage for our section? Some people are like, what's over there? I'm like, hey, we're really like safety fair. So I do something like
Well,
that.
I already planned on, I'm gonna talk to them about like what they have set up and where. And then I think what I can do is I can bring to our board what they have set up and where, and then we can kind of talk about where we think we should add. And then I can tell them, you know, what we were thinking too. Kind of what I was thinking. That's why I was writing down like all the different ideas to kind of talk about, what they already have set up, you know, so we're not imposing or adding to, and then talk about where we can put each of the items, or maybe have a just one area.
We had like a sign that said Wolverine Lake Safety Fair, just to
Yeah,
So I'm sure Parks and Rec's pretty good. They probably have a, 5K entry sign up this way. That way people walking over to us, like, what's this, which is great. But they're not like, where do I sign up?
We'll just turn their signs to point to us.
Yeah,
Just, go through these stations first, right?
yeah, just set up our table like in between the sign and them.
Yeah, a hot dog, a bouncy castle, and then they can run a 5K. Perfect.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
All right, so here's what I wrote down, and this is just for this month, and then next month we could try and talk about where these things landed, but Kyle will sync up with Parks and Rec, understand the food situation, et cetera. Maybe Rob wants to start pinging around on the bounce house deal. Rob will get music covered. Newman will be on the police boat, we're pinging them if they can participate, and trivia, as well as building knot tying station. Snyder is gonna be on anything in and around ice safety, come up with some idea there. I've got the casting competition and the life jackets. You still have all those signs, although they're up in the office. I don't think there's anything to do there.
Well, I gotta put them all up.
Yeah, well, not now, but eventually. Okay, any other ideas there that we can bring to this, that people, or ideas that we haven't thought about to make it better? Jim, Jerry, any thoughts? I had a note here about face painting once upon a time.
Oh, we did talk about that,
That's a who knows about that. I think let's sync up with Parks and Rec and see what they have sticking out there. I don't remember what the whole 5K is. I've been to it because my kid runs in that bubble run, but my wife runs in the 5K too, but
yeah.
I don't remember what they had.
If we end up wanting to do face painting, we could post something, on Facebook if anyone's interested in doing face painting during the 5K.
Yeah, we can do that. Let me just see. Well, that's something we can kind of get into later. Let's figure out what Parks and Rec has. So coming back maybe next month, we'll start with, I'll at least run through these particular assignments and see where we're at, what information that we have, and go from there. Does that sound reasonable? Yep. All right. 2025 safety fair. Okay. Cool. Any other questions or thoughts on safety fair? All right, cool. All right, Goose Nest, the next two are kind of together, 7C, 7D. Goose Nest egg destruction permit and the capture. So what's going on here? So we applied for the permit to do the Goose Nest egg destruction. I think that'll be good to go. We'll get the same thing that we did in the past, go to the different nests and destroy the eggs. The big thing, I guess, to discuss is that there's, there was a point in time where we did the goose roundup, right? And then that went away, and now that there's a new permit process by which we can reapply to doing kind of a goose roundup and/or goose roundup and euthanize the geese or transport them to other places. They generally, my understanding is, you could apply for this thing, but you have to show that you have like some significant problem with geese on the lake or something like
Like
this.
E. coli.
Yeah, E. coli, beach closures, stuff like this.
But I did speak to them. I called the Wildlife Services.
Yeah.
And they prefer you to do something more mild than the euthanasia
Yep.
is your first option. So
Yeah.
the goose roundup is something that we still can do. However, they did mention to me that if you do the goose roundup, you also have to do the nest destruction as well. And I don't know that we've been doing that, have we?
That's the only thing we have been doing is the nesting.
We just been taking the eggs, but we haven't been destroying the nests.
I don't know that is required as part of it.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to physically break up the nest?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess when I looked at the year-end report, and at least what I saw when we did the bird count.
Ooh, I remember that, counted those birds.
Yeah, so, you know, I you guys can't see it, but I mean, I had sent it out, there's plots on what the bird count was and stuff like this year over year. I've got plots of what the,
And we're
what the
somewhere in
egg
the
roundup has
70s.
been over like this.
We're like 70 plus or minus.
66.
5,
Yeah, it was like 66. We had like a peak a couple years ago. We've been in that basically for 3 years in a row, right around the mid 60s, right? When you combine it with, you know, what we're doing for the egg destruction and stuff. My personal take is that there's probably more we can do in the goose egg destruction, and maybe the nest destruction, that would be sufficient versus trying to apply for something new.
So there are companies that do that. So I
do
did call a couple of them.
That come do it for you?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But it's,
You don't like it?
it's it wasn't fun. Especially when those geese are like, you know,
Violent?
screaming at you and coming after you. But we weren't destroying the nests. We
Yeah.
were just getting the eggs and leaving, right?
Yeah.
So according to this wildlife services that I call you, the thing is you gotta do both. So you minimize the chance for them to have eggs laid quickly again.
But there are ones where that's only, I'd imagine that's only if you can actually destroy all the eggs in the nest. Because a lot of times that wasn't the case.
What do you mean?
There were some instances where, I guess, where some of the eggs had already started to hatch, you can't do anything.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
with
those
those,
you-
right, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I guess. But so I called a couple places. I only got feedback from 2 of the 5 I called, but one is $100 per goose and then
Oh my
$50 per nest. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Per
great.
goose, like per egg?
yeah.
Per egg?
No, per goose, sorry, for
So this
goose.
is-
They're
No,
saying for
this
the
is-
roundup.
For the roundup. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Round up.
And what is the egg?
It's $50 a nest. I don't think it's per egg.
It's $50 a nest.
Oh, yeah, but we had, yeah, I mean, I think we can do this.
Because how many nests do you guys think you went to?
Well, it's hard to say because last year they got 30 and the year before we got 80,
It
so.
was 46 last year, 81 the year before that, yeah. And
Eggs
then-
or nest?
Eggs.
Eggs. I had how many nests it was, but it was generally like 3 or 4 per, like this was probably 18, 20 nest type thing.
Okay.
We went to 15 to 20, call it like that.
Okay.
Just quite a bit. I mean, I think, here's my take, is that this application is another permit that you have to do to get together to actually get the live birds and either go transport them elsewhere or kill them off, right? We didn't have any beach closures last year, as far as I know, from any kind of E. coli or anything like this. And I think there's probably more we can do from the nest and egg destruction program, that I don't know that it's worth pursuing this type of permit now. At least when I look at the data from, it's not like our goose population is on our very non-scientific bird count.
What are you talking about?
It's not like it's skyrocketing. We didn't have a bunch of beach closures or something like this. So I think what we need to decide is, do we want to have the office put together an application to actually transport and euthanize a bunch of geese from the lake? Or do we want to try and continue managing it through the egg and nest destruction? When I think we probably haven't destroyed the nests. If we do, get out there and do the eggs and get aggressive after that, maybe we can do a little bit better even.
Yeah, because just looking at like the requirements to get this permit, I don't know if we fall
Meet them.
into any of those categories off the top of the head. And then, like you said, we've been maintaining the level pretty steady.
Yeah, I think just,
So we don't meet the 100 geese.
Yeah, we didn't have or one of the following, yeah.
But we do have the E. coli closure, which they require, if you do this, they require proof that you had that done, or you had that problem.
I don't think we had any last year.
We didn't?
no, we-
I think we do every year, don't we?
We have in the past. I don't know that we had any
I
last
feel
year.
like we had one last year, but, the issue was we got the data, like,
Oh, yes, that's right. It was
we
off
got it
the
like
top
days
part.
after,
Yeah.
so like by the time we found out we had E. coli issue, like it was fine.
Yeah,
So like that's when we were talking about, is there a way to get the information a little faster?
yeah.
Yeah, let me just see. I think we had.
I mean, I wonder if we're, I don't really feel like we're at a, point that they're gonna approve the roundup, just looking at this. But the other thing is, do we wanna work that cost into the budget too? Because if it's, what, you said $100 a goose?
Is that for this?
No, I think that's
That
with the company.
No, that was for them to go in and get rid of the.
But that's if they get hired on this permit, that's how much they charge you?
100 a goose.
Oh, I don't know about that. I was just.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, sorry.
Neither do I, that's why I'm
He
asking.
doesn't understand.
I think, they should just let people start hunting them.
Goose hunting on the way.
Yeah.
Just generally speaking, not,
guns only.
get a sandbag shotgun or something, or a beanbag.
So aggressive geese, $100 per adult goose, 50 per nest, and 5 to 10 per baby. That's what this Goosebusters charges. So that's what, roughly 70 geese, so that's what, $7,000?
Yeah.
I have a better use for that now.
Yeah, I think, I guess, if somebody thinks we should pursue this, we'll need a motion to pursue this. Otherwise, we stick with the permit that we've already got approved for the nest and egg destruction. Maybe this year we figure out how we're gonna destroy the nests along with the eggs. And then if we wanna go try and hire somebody to do that, I don't think we have budget for that. But we could add it in the future. I mean, last year, who did the eggs
It was
last year?
Eric and somebody else.
Oh, he went with,
It wasn't, I counted the geese.
yeah, Eric went with, what's the dude's name?
Isn't that what we had high school?
McNutt's kid.
Oh, McNutt.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
Grant?
kid,
Oh, yeah.
went and did it.
But they didn't have that little
I know, I
motorboat that
sold
you
my
have.
boat.
You know, can you go get it back?
Can you go, can I borrow it? from
Jerry, you
you?
don't have a little rowboat, do you, with a little motor on
I
it?
do. I'll loan it, I'll loan it.
It was a lot
It
easier.
was a little, he had a little metal boat with a
Like a
little,
12-foot
electric motor.
rowboat.
And it was so much easier to.
Go right up to it.
To go right up to it, because you can't take a pontoon boat up there, and in a kayak, it's too awkward to try to get in and out of a
It was
kayak
like a
to
little
get there.
flat bottom John boat with an electric
Is this
motor.
a
It was perfect.
12-foot
you have?
rowboat?
I haven't, you can use it,
You
I
can
don't
be
wanna
the
do
official,
it.
you can
Nice.
be the official goose killer.
No.
You didn't hear the
You could be the
second part of my statement.
No, you can be the counter. You don't
I'll
have to,
I'll be the one who says, bring the boat back this way.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
When
I
you're
think,
done.
I think I was a driver. and
You were the
pilot.
driver.
Yeah, I was the captain, you were the,
I
yeah.
was the get it.
Why do we have to do that? Why can't we?
Well, it's $7,000 as.
Well, no, that's what we got students for, sitting around picking their noses off. I had a job, best job I ever had was working for the Corps of Engineers. I had to be out on Lake St. Clair on a boat. That was my job. They paid me. So give some kids some money and say,
That's right, here's a couple $100, go. mess
you
with
can
the
have
geese.
all the goose meat you can get.
Okay.
Gives good stories.
I don't think our goose problem's at a critical point where we need to file a permit to,
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe try just the eggs and destroy some nests and recount next year.
Okay.
80 that we got, that's a lot of geese.
That's why you gotta go do it.
Yeah, right.
That could be a reason why you only had 40 the next year.
Yeah.
You took 80, you see,
No,
That's it,
well,
and the actual numbers, I mean, it's at, when we do the count, which is roughly the same time every year, which is, again, not very scientific. It's been mid-60s, so
Yeah.
if we knocked off 80 of them in the egg stage, that's 50% of what you had, right?
Question. We all get geese on our lawns, don't we?
I don't.
I mean,
I don't.
I don't.
you know?
No.
Oh,
But I had a dog.
I do.
I had a bird dog, too.
I do. Well, I got a dog, but they kill him.
Two houses.
It just- We dealt with the Hurt Swan for a while, and we called the Hurt Swan organization, and they were gonna come out with nets and get the things now.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore because of avian flu.
Okay, well, never mind, leave that there. But if there are 10 geese on my lawn, and one of you guys has got a net, we could catch 10 of them on the ground, instead of going all over the lake.
So when we're doing it on the lake though, we're not actually going after the live geese, we're just going after the eggs.
Well, I thought we were going after.
Oh yeah, that's what this permit is.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
if you
the
wanted to go after the live
euthanasia.
geese, then we have to
You
go.
gotta have the permit to go for the geese.
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Well, you gotta have a permit to get the eggs too, but that's a special
got that,
permit to
yeah.
go euthanize the birds.
Okay.
Yeah, because once you collect them, they basically either take them to a different lake or they
They fly
euthanize
back.
them. Yeah, they gotta take them far enough that they don't fly back or they kill them. So, yeah, basically what we end up just managing the
Okay.
yet-to-be-born geese versus
They come
the
back to the same.
already living geese.
Well, you and I were pretty successful. We gotta just do it again.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm all right doing it. We just gotta get the
Gotta
boat.
bring like a 9-iron or something.
I'm telling you, the inverted Kroger basket was a good.
Do you collect them or do you just use a 9?
We collect them and then we gotta bring them here and then somebody picks them up.
They just throw them out. They basically just throw them
Oh,
out.
do they?
Yeah, but you're supposed to take them, you're not supposed to just smash them there, so you take them and then we put them in a bag and then they go out. Okay, so we're gonna keep on moving. We're gonna assume we're not gonna do this application this year. We'll keep monitoring the birds and then come back next year if we have a spike or something, maybe we revisit it. We get a bunch of beach closures. We should track the beach closures though. I don't track them. It's not something I've ever tracked, but they are probably tracked on Oakland County's website. I can't find it right now, but we should probably track how often the beaches are closed. It'd be something that you'd think we would know as a water board, but I don't think we do. So, okay. 7E, Huron River Watershed Council report to the community. So this was just a handout from
So David,
Dave. So I didn't read this, but there's a handout here that we can
There's nothing to read here.
noodle on.
there's what?
There's 8 pages of names, that's all there is.
On the back end? Yeah, yeah. Oh my
I
God.
feel like Elon Musk.
It's more,
Why is this being
there's
done?
nothing specific.
Okay. Either way, there's 2 handouts here. I'm not gonna, there's nothing worth going through right now, but
Marion, I don't get this anymore.
They had a $100,000 deficit. $60,000 deficit.
all right.
No, I'm
I
getting.
don't think there's anything more to say about that. Just take these home, read them. We can noodle on them next time.
Well, if there's anything, and then we'll bring it up next week.
All right. Current lake level is frozen.
You know, there's water constantly coming out.
It is now,
No, but
off the top of the ice.
Even all winter.
It's been forever.
Out of the dam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive
Like
by
all
and it
winter
blows my
long.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? Are we not
Because
down so
As
low?
it- Yeah, no, I mean, as ice melts and it's just gonna go
But
up.
this was even when it was like
This was like a
5
month ago.
degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's been.
There was 12 inches of ice on the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I drive
if
by
there's
it.
water coming in, there's gonna be water going out.
But where's it coming in from that much?
All around, it's the
like-
other side of the lake.
Snow and freezing rain and freezing.
If there's precipitation, it's gonna make,
So is it set to a level and it
Yeah.
just stops, but it doesn't get closed, it just stops at that level, is that right?
that's right.
Oh.
That's right. So it's, and the gates, it's not flowing out of the top, right?
Right,
It's
right.
flowing under the bottom.
Right.
So there's a constant flow. So the water is higher, right, than the outside, and then how much the flow rate is dictated by how much they open it.
Okay. I thought they closed it after we got like 18 inches down or whatever it is. No? Oh.
And it can't go lower than 18 inches, because by that point, the water's all the way down and it's below the top
I
part.
see. Okay. I didn't
But
know
anytime
that.
it fills up, it's just gonna keep leaking out underneath.
Okay, well, it must have been full all winter long.
Yeah.
Every time I take my dog, every morning, I hear all this water
It
rushing
just
out.
blows
I'm
me,
like,
like, same thing, like I drive down there and I'm like, what the heck?
aren't we getting really low?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Interesting.
Okay, wonder where that was all coming from.
When do we close it back up to raise the level again?
Key dates.
Early May, or is it April?
Basically, as soon as the ice is off the shoreline, that's when they generally close it. There's not a specific day that we say. Not a specific day. The goal is to have the lake at the target level by May 1st. So one thing that we did right here is review the ice melt strategy, and this was something that we always talked about in the winters, was how early do you actually close the gates, right? So basically,
we want them to close it as soon as the ice is off the shorelines, right? And then whatever ice melts, you capture and you're not filling the lake. Because we had one year where we were really late, we ended up like having to fill the lake, right? You don't want to do that.
Right.
Because you can always let the water out, right? Filling it costs money, letting it out doesn't. So generally, as soon as the ice is off the shorelines to a reasonable level, we want them to close the gates. So, I can work with the DPW guys and get the exact how we want to do it or what the strategy is. Last year, we didn't have any friggin' ice on the lake this late, right? There was like not anything that this year is.
It was like a day.
There's gonna be ice on the lake for a long time now, right? It'll be melted off the shoreline and there's still gonna be ice in the lake, right? So we don't necessarily want all that water to just run out just for us to have to fill it again or wait for the rain.
Right, for sure.
But yeah, we don't have a date where we say, okay, close the sluice gates. It's just trying to get it by the May 1st.
One of the things I also wrote here in February, review the ice melt strategy. I'll get to the other things later. Okay, so current lake level, I don't have it in front of me. For some reason, the Hobo Link website's not working either, so we'll skip it.
Didn't work when
assuming-
you got ice on the lake?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't work, yeah.
Yeah. Noteworthy complaints of the village, I don't know of anything at this point in time. All right, 9A, the key dates. So, I wrote something here which I don't quite remember. It says, get the story together for training at the boat launch. Do you remember what that was? We're talking about training at the boat launch?
Did that have to do with the safety fair?
Yeah, maybe that was, oh yeah, and it says do it in May. Yeah, so maybe that's a safety fair.
Lake's 1.43 below.
That's what it says? Yeah.
Oh, you got it. That's what I was looking for.
So, there you go, that's,
Feet.
yeah, 1.43 times 12, 17.16. We target 18 below, that's why water's leaking out. Because it's not at 18 below yet.
And right now, out of the dam, it's 40.7 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's 5 feet below the water, yeah. 5 feet below the surface, the water's 40 degrees.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Verify the operators are available for the harvester, so that's a good one. Who is the harvester person in this group? Do we remember? Did we reassign that? It was
Eric.
Yep, was Grant. Now who is it?
I should probably be, if there's nobody now.
All right, let me see who, maybe we'll reassign it to you then. Let me see.
Yeah, that was Martha. I hope it wasn't me.
I think it was Matt.
Matt.
Let's just see who it was. Harvester was Matt. Yeah,
Oh,
he's not
Matt's
here
better.
right now. Well, we'll see if he wants it still. If not, but what we can do in the meantime, Jerry, since Matt's not here, you can take this on. Can you just confirm with the village that we have operators for the harvester this year?
Okay.
Get with David. We had them last year. Harvester operation was really good last year, and the report out I did at the end of the year, like we had a really good year with the harvester, so we want to make sure we at least have the same amount of operators, hopefully the same ones physically. But 2 years ago, we didn't have any harvester operators, so let's make sure we have that
And
confirmed.
do we have recorded the yield of it, about the hours it was used? We have all that? Okay.
You didn't read my year-end report, man?
Could you resend it?
Oh, my goodness. And then presented to council, I had all the good work we
You
did.
told me we were going to present it, I would have been here,
Ah.
supporting you.
Man,
It was good. It was a good show.
let's see how.
Yeah.
it
Well
is.
done.
Yeah?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I had all the plots
Yeah, you
and
got
all
to
the
watch that.
stuff.
Oh, geez.
I wrote it.
I'm going to have to look that one up on YouTube.
You sit in the same spot?
Go for it.
Which council meeting?
Oh, right here.
All right,
In there.
February 1st, key date, confirm.
Wait, you had mentioned, will I contact this, whoever this outfit is?
David.
Oh, yeah, Ty Nutolia from, Harvester.
That was my next line, confirm harvester discussion with Oakland harvesters.
Okay. Oh,
Is that, we said we were gonna talk about that February 1st.
Oh.
Here we are, February, harvester discussion with Oakland harvesters.
Okay.
What's up with that?
I can reach back out to him unless you are
I think you should be the one. I'm willing to
Okay.
do it. But
Okay.
you've talked to him before.
I will.
And there's, I saw in the notes from about 3 or 4 years ago that the board wanted $3,000 from the village to hire those guys to be backup operators and to come and train
Oakland
people,
Harvesters?
whoever they were, yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you. There was a move at one time to
3 years ago, I
to
don't
get
remember
some.
that. I was there.
Might have been 2 years ago, might have been 5 years ago.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't remember it as long as I've been here. But,
Okay. Well, I've been here 6 months. So there, so you do it. I can, like I
Yeah,
say,
I'll reach out to him.
I can do it, but.
You know, I've reached out to him and gotten no response
Yeah,
many times,
yeah.
so he's used to me.
Yeah, and he can do the same thing too, yeah.
He's
What I
used
was-
to ignoring you.
Well, what I was hoping to do was, once we get the actual drivers, operators, that they're here too for that discussion. So because I really wanted it for them to hear, you know, what's optimal, what should you be doing, you know, how low should you be cutting, or, you know, just all the little stuff that I don't think any of us here know about.
Right.
And I wonder how our harvester drivers get taught what to do when we don't even kind of know the details ourselves on like what's the optimal way of doing it.
I think optimal would be with the harvester in the water, seriously, and everybody standing around it, rather than in a meeting like this.
Well, perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet, as little time as he was even willing to give, which is none, I'm trying to maximize it.
All right, okay.
We'll see, I'll try to call him and see what he can do.
Okay.
Maybe see if he could possibly put together a video presentation that we could share or review.
Oh, that's possible.
That way he doesn't have to be here after normal business hours.
Well, Jerry had mentioned too, could we pay the guy? Like, could we pay him like $50 to come here and present to us, if that will motivate him to come here and,
Absolutely. I mean, it seems like knowledge that would benefit all of us.
yeah. How do I go about?
Ask them how much they want.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm
For so
saying,
many hours.
how do we, do I just write them a check myself and get reimbursed? Is that how it works? Is
Yeah,
it-
well, I think we got extra room in the budget this year for,
Yeah.
you could break that.
Yeah, I'll call him
You
and
can find something you can attach it
see
to.
if, yeah.
Yeah, you could probably attach it as pay him as a trainer
Yeah.
for the operators, and then we can also benefit from the class itself. So if they're willing to do that. They might have a flat fee too. Who knows, they might do that.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good. Once we find out who our operators are, yeah,
Pick a date, we'll work that out.
well, I can't pick a day without him, just knowing this guy's even going to do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it would, you know, be at one of our board meetings.
okay.
Okay. That's all I had for February, so just upcoming, basically the February stuff was around ice melt strategy, which I can go talk to DPW on that. Operators available for the harvester, Jerry said he can go check on that. Discussions with Oakland Harvesters, Rob's on that. Safety fair assignments we already did. So I think those are the things that we wanted to cover in February. March, I don't have anything specific, but I just wrote confirm with Paul, this is Hausler, just making sure we have, the past couple of years, we've had a pretty good strategy with canals, early treatment, so just confirm we're on track for the same treatments that we did early in the year. And that's really it through March. Outside of that, April is really the first time we start doing the survey and the treatments in the canal before we get a May restriction, so beginning of the year is pretty slow, so it's a good idea to try and get some of the plans together for, like I said, the
What do we do
safety
when we
fair.
treat it? When we treat it in May, am I jumping
So
in
there's,
too soon?
there, in May, there becomes a limitation on what
Copper.
chemicals you can actually use. So we try and treat it late in April, specifically in the canals,
Okay.
so that it's, because the type of chemical that we use there.
Is it copper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some
It's something that
copper-based
enables it
product.
to be like more effective on the algae and in that specific area. So we've been using that earlier in the year before it gets restricted, and then it's worked out quite well in the canals.
Yes.
And the canals looked good last year. I don't know if you were
2
back.
years in a row.
They
I mean,
It was,
Pretty much we had canal,
Aaron, was that a relative of yours I was talking to? One of your relatives?
Must be, I reached out to you earlier.
Okay, okay. It didn't, is it copper, is that why the farmers won't take the muck?
I don't know anything about the farmer muck thing. Was that
I
a
know
thing?
they said the copper, it had to be treated sooner because of how it affects fish eggs if it's treated later.
You mean the heavy metals in the muck after it dries out, it's not a good fertilizer at that point.
Makes sense to me.
And that's the other reason I think we heard why dredging is a problem too, because it releases all those metals, those more toxic metals. When you churn that up. But it's something we can,
Right.
even Paul has to.
Yeah, generally that.
We can ask him though when he comes here.
Yeah, generally
Hopefully
the,
it
You know,
seeps
Paul
down
from
into the
Progressive.
water table, right?
we had,
I think it's.
No, you probably did, but anyway,
Yeah,
Paul
he's
Hessler, he's from
Progressive,
Progressive, or his other.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean Kathy, when she was on the board, she was a resident in the canals. She spent a bunch of time trying to get people, I mean, the most effective way to get anything accomplished, like if you wanted to do a big project in the canals and like clear them out or do something like this, like the most effective way is like get the residents organized together, right? Try and get them motivated to help come up with solutions and stuff, and like it would cost a fortune.
Who's Kathy, and can I talk to her? She-
Kathy Duff, she used to be on this board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
you'll hear a little more about it.
Yep.
I'll try to keep it to.
Yep. I can send you her contact information, but she tried to get groups together, tried to get some of the residents together, some working groups together to understand what possibilities there were. They did some research on dredging, on different things where they suck the muck out and they let it dry out on the ground.
I called my neighbor and I, because like ours, it's got like 6 feet of muck.
Yeah.
We called the DNR.
They basically said you could do some stuff yourself.
No, like the rule was you couldn't use any machinery. So
Yeah.
like they basically said like when the water goes out, I could organize people and just shovel it.
Yeah.
But like, because I found a company in Ohio that brings like a raft with a machine and they basically like vacuum it,
Yeah.
you know, but then you gotta have somewhere to put it,
Yeah.
which was another issue.
Yeah.
But when I called to see if that's possible, they said no.
Yeah.
Because of like the frogs and amphibians and stuff that are in the muck. I said, well, what does it matter if I shovel it? And they're like, you don't get as much volume. So. But anyway, like the first year I lived here, I looked into that seriously with my neighbor because we were willing to pitch in, like all this on the canal, we'd pitch in and get it done, you know, but they said we can't do it.
One of the things I'm looking at is this muck away stuff. Have you heard, and I saw a report that somebody put these pellets in.
This is way more than like that. I looked into that too. That's like if you had like a pond in your backyard, you know,
That's
like
what the
a
canals
pond
are.
with like 6 to 8 inches of muck, like the stuff will eat the muck. Like I can't speak for the other canals, but like ours is mostly caused by leaves.
Yeah.
Like the leaves blow in there and then like we try to rake them out, but you can't keep up. And I mean, it's literally, like you can stick a boat or 5 feet down in the muck. So like,
Same thing as
there's
off my
no,
dock.
there's no pellet gonna eat that much. And like some other options too is like you can put a blower on your dock.
Yeah.
And I looked into that too, but just because I don't hate my neighbors, because all that does is move it from
Pushes it
point A to B.
Yeah.
Like I might have a nice sandy beach in front of mine, but my
Yeah.
poor neighbor is gonna have all my muck in his.
I know 2 people who pointed out.
Well, mine's
From the
very,
lake, not
mine's
from the
very
canal.
narrow, so we
Yeah.
just go right across.
Yeah, to your neighbor's house, yeah.
And we like them, so we're not going to do that.
Yeah. And technically, you're not supposed to have those things. We did at the lake bottom, right? It's supposed to move
Yeah,
surface
they're
water.
parallel or whatever, but like, yeah. So I
But yeah,
just
you can,
live with
feel
them.
free to reach out to Kathy. I mean, we had, like, and who was the last person here that was assigned to muck? Let me just see.
That part of the canal never freezes, 'cause of all that.
Yes, there have been lots of discussions that kind of didn't go anywhere because of various roadblocks.
Lake
That's why I say in here,
Bottom. Jim Sparks
can we
is the
record
person
this
assigned to
so-
Lake
so-
Bottom.
Lake Bottom.
Muck
Hold
measurement,
up.
management, and reduction. That was one of your
What are the
assignments.
3?
I wrote muck measurement, management, and reduction. Jim Sparks was the you took that over
Yeah.
from Kathy Duff at one point in time.
I'll put more effort in the muck.
But
I mean, if you
like I
want to reach
said,
out to the DNR, I mean,
I don't want to check with the DNR. From what I've
I don't
heard,
think fishing muck.
we can do anything but scrape the bottom.
I don't think
We can get the muck off the top, but we can't get the bottom.
on the top.
If we can't dredge because we take the frogs out, I hadn't heard that one before.
Yeah.
Besides, the dredging
They eat
would
the
cost
eggs of the good fish.
$350,000 to $600,000.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of that's sort of like, that, and that's not impossible, right? You can do something that extensive, it's just a matter of having the people agree to it, get the permits, and like, that is the type of thing that you would get something like a special assessment district for all the houses, if you wanted to go through the whole canal area, and you get them all to sign up, and they all put it on their taxes, and they do agree to pay for it, you can do a project like that, but without the residents passionate about getting it done, it's not gonna get done.
That's what Jim's gonna do. Jim and Kathy are gonna make the.
Yeah, but Jim's little area is 4 houses just off of Commerce South.
The worst part is all the leaves
Jim right here,
fall
this
in.
little appendix.
Jim's talking about that canal. That's not what, the problem,
That's Jim.
the other canal is the big one. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's a similar issue.
Yeah, it's the same issue.
Where's your house?
Well, it's on the lake, it's way over here. It's right here. And, yeah, I got that much muck at the edge.
How much is he
When I
got?
walk out
Yeah.
around, when.
I said, I was moving my boat lift.
Yeah.
And I don't push hard.
Because my hydraulic line broke on it, and I was walking around my dock, I was literally, I was
I
walking,
also
have the lake
and I was
drawdown, can you
past
get in
my
there?
knees, I was on my thighs.
I was gonna ask that.
Are you on a
Question, because I had
Just in the
never.
lake?
Well, it's just off the end of my dock,
Gone
yeah.
down to 18 inches. I've never looked at where the muck is before, but I'm willing to. When the muck.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna keep us moving here. So the continuing business, this is one I wanted to hit on because I think we had some email exchange on it, was the fish stocking. So we got fish stocked, which is no problem. I know we didn't do fish stocking this last year.
I can work on that point.
Sure.
So, when fall came up and we were looking into the fish stocking, I got in touch with the DNR 2 years ago. I got some advice from a biologist on what species to put in, how many, et cetera. So when I called them back, she put me in touch with a new biologist that serves our area. His name is John Buskowitz, and he put a lot of work in. Like, he didn't want to talk like without learning about our lake, so he actually surveyed our lake from like an aerial view and all kinds of past data. Like, he had record of all of our fish stocking in the past and all that. So he was talking from a point of knowledge, and what he came back with was, he says, first of all, like a lake our size, the fish stocking, you should be on like every other year. Like, you can actually overstock, is like what he was saying. So we would be up for stocking this fall since we did. But he said one of the big problems he sees with our lake is, he says over 90% of our lake has seawall.
Yeah, that's like
So-
every lake.
Yeah, so he says the problem with that is the seawall prevents like desirable
Sure,
habitat
of
for
course.
the fish. So he said what he would recommend is, in the off years of stocking, is that you do things to like develop the habitat.
Mm-hmm.
So like, he sent me a whole bunch of issues on these things called fish sticks,
Mm-hmm.
which basically are like trees that you put submerged in
Yeah.
areas.
This is what I wanted to get to.
And then in Ryan and I, we were entering a discussion, and he mentioned that there was record of something similar to that in the past, but if I'm not mistaken, we weren't exactly sure where they were.
So
You found where they
here's the
are?
map of where they all were. Okay. Sorry, people can't see it. I can send it to you. Yep, I'll send it to you.
'Cause I was sure
So
that
I
was
just looked up the email. So I can send you the permit
Please.
of where we did it and the locations, and we went out and looked for them. They're not, you can't find them. They're
Yeah,
not
well,
there.
they would decompose.
Yeah, so they're probably gone. So if we wanted to go do that, we'd probably have to refill out this permit and go do that
Okay,
again.
because he said like and then the other thing he brought up too is like when he mentioned like, how we harvest and things, he would be willing to like he says, first of all, that stony wort is bad news. He says like, get as much of that out of there as you want, but we just got to be careful, like certain species of fish, like they nest in specific desirable weeds. And he says we just got to be careful. If you really want to stock your lake and have a healthy fish population, you can't counteract that by removing the habitat that the fish would spawn in.
So, well, that's kind of difficult, so.
No, it's
What email, the Clausen Schools one?
yeah, that'll work. Yeah. So I mean, that was just the initial conversation. Like he said, going forward, he was awesome. I got he seemed to be like a new guy to the DNR, so like 2 years ago when I talked to a lady, she just looked at our fish stock and said, do this. This guy, and I shared like several emails with Ryan, I forwarded the conversation, like, this was like a 2-week period, like almost every other day, he was getting back to me with, new information about our lake that I didn't know.
He's with the DNR, you said?
Yeah, like he's a wildlife biologist. So, I'm going to continue the dialogue with him, but we are on schedule for this fall. We would be another stocking. And he said, like, he will work with me to identify, same thing as last time. We give him the budget, like how much we have, and he'll help me figure out, what species, how many, time to put them in and everything. So I'm really actually.
So it'd be
excited
interesting
about it.
to invert that instead of we give him the budget. Would it be better for him? Like, if we're gonna do it every other year, does that mean we should spend the full budget, the 2 years budget on 1 year? Or is that too many fish, or is it whatever? So
No,
it'd probably be good to understand what the recommendation is and then see if we can budget accordingly.
So my understanding was like, certain species, you have to put like more fish than like
Yeah.
last time we did like 1,000 fingerling walleye, I think it was.
Sure.
Which was what the number I gave him. So if we went back and gave him a different amount, like there's a good chance it could be either a different species or multiple.
Yeah.
And
So
did we used to do it every other year, or did we do
We
it
did
every?
It was every
I thought
year,
so.
and it was, when I showed him the thing, like the biggest problem we have in our lake that he identified, like in terms of our fish population, is like our fish are stunted, like particular species. So like bluegill in particular are like, they're our most popular fish in the lake by number, but like none of them are at like average size. They're all stunted. So he says there's various causes, like, carrying capacity, like there's not enough food, there's too much competition. So that's why the last time we put walleye in, because they feed on
Bluegills.
the bluegills. So the thought was like when they come to maturity in 2 to 3 years, they would then help kind of thin that out, and then we could maybe get, like the stunting could be cured. But the stunting goes back, like the survey they did, and I'm trying to get them to do another one because like we don't schedule it. The DNR just haphazardly goes around and does these big, huge fish surveys on the lakes. And we've had one in the last 10 years, so we're not up for a while. But I keep trying to tell him, like, feel free. We'd be more than glad to have you come out and do another one, like, anytime you want. So he seemed kind of open, but that would be huge for us. Like, if we could get them to come back out, because then we would have data to compare from the last one to see if we're getting worse, if we're staying the same, if we're getting better.
They do it every 10 years?
It's within 10 years.
Oh.
Like, it could be 5, it could be 7, but like, he said we had one relatively recently compared to some other lakes, so.
So I sent you the map and the permit from the last
Okay.
time of where we
Was
actually.
that through the DNR, the permit?
I believe so. I will double check.
Because I'll email him back and reference that permit and see what he says.
Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ. So I'll send it to you. We put 7 wooden structures in the lake across the various locations. Of course, they weren't like, I was like, send me the GPS coordinates, but it's like, old enough that wasn't the thing back
It
then.
looked
so
like it was hand-drawn.
it's a hand-drawn map with like approximately here it is.
Dude, what are these sticks? Do they stick out of the water? Or what?
No, you put them far enough down that they don't like interrupt with anything, right? But imagine just like a wooden structure and then fish use it to, as
Like he
It's
said,
not like a
like,
stick, it's like a
No,
it's like a,
wooden
box,
structure.
a wooden box or something that they fish
the
out of?
fish sticks is a product they make, like, which is a certain configuration or whatever, but it's basically, if you could just think of it like a underground tree, like just to provide structure for the fish. And what he said is we would put these in the areas that don't currently have seawalls. Like we would find like that 10% that don't have seawalls. And if it was a resident, you would ask, hey, can we put one? Most of them are down, I think like most of the areas without the seawall, aren't they down by Benstein? Aren't they down in that area?
Yeah, we put them, basically, the map shows that we put them where the deep spots of the lake were shallowing out.
Okay.
So like right on the
drop-offs.
edge, right at the beginnings of the drop-offs, like right in there at a certain depth so that they don't interfere with the boats and all this other stuff. But we put them in just before the lead-ins to the drop-offs.
And how long ago was that? Were you here?
No, I wasn't here when it went in, but the last time we checked was in 2019,
Yeah,
so.
like the guy
Let me see when
said
this
he
permit is
had a bunch
from.
of info on 'em. See, I saw everything now.
When is this permit from?
You'd think the date would be the first thing on it. 2012, 13 years ago.
Well,
So, and we went to go look for them in 2019 and couldn't find them. So,
What were you doing, scuba diving or what?
it's Kathy and somebody else were out on the boat, like.
On a certain species of plant with certain
So,
type of.
anyway, I sent it to you. It'd be a good thing to keep digging up.
Yep, I will, like I said, when you get that to me, Ryan,
Yeah.
I will reach out and I will share that map with John
Yeah.
and see like what he thinks of it. Yeah,
Okay.
but, yeah, I'm actually excited about the relationship we have with that guy.
So
and-
fall of this year is when the next stocking
Yep.
will happen.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go, that's it.
All right.
So we'll provide the structure.
Okay. So I'm good on fish stocking, plant control invasive species. I mean, I don't have anything to talk about there unless there's something specific somebody was talking about. Okay, harvester discussion. Let's do the harvester thing now, in this topic.
Lost lots of needles.
So outside of the fact that we need to go make sure we have operators for the harvester we have, there was a bunch of questions, Jerry, that you had that we could talk through now if you want.
Yeah, I'm not trying to replace our harvester right now, okay? But from what I've learned about this eco harvester thing, it doesn't cut, it pulls weeds. And they're claiming that you don't need chemicals after that. And I saw where we spent $75,000 on chemicals in 1 year.
Yeah, it's like 75 to 77 each year.
Okay, so this thing costs $110,000 with the trailer. And I need to find out more of it, and I know we won't have it this year. But I think we ought to really look at it.
And you said the thing is small enough to fit under the bridge too?
Fit under the bridge, my brother-in-law's comment. Oh, yeah. And it'll go into 12 inches of water, maybe when it's empty, I don't know. Now, they had to take one back and sold it as used because they bought it and they put it in their lake and they only had 6 inches of water near the shore, so they couldn't do what they wanted. So they sold it back to them, and they sold it to somebody else. Talked to a guy who cleaned up the lake, and I want to talk to more people.
So what do we want to do here? Where are we now? It's like we have some information that we think that it could be beneficial. You said this place is where? Wisconsin or
It's in
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
And
Do they have any reps that could come here and talk to us?
I think we might be able to get somebody here, I'm not sure. I'll put that out to them, because they want to sell it. You know.
Yeah.
Tell them, come here, we'll give them 20 minutes to give us
Okay.
a spiel.
Kyle, I'm sorry, I wanted to send you to Minneapolis to see it, but they said they'll give us $500 back on the purchase of a new one. They won't give us $500 to come there. I was disappointed about that.
Yeah, sure.
It just sounds too good to be true, actually, because it's like, quit digging the hole, quit cutting it, quit putting chemicals in it, gives you more food for muck, just stop that from happening.
My other thought too is if we start pulling it and stop cutting it, would that reduce the muck too? Just the dead vegetation?
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, will it pull it?
No, I'm saying it would reduce the muck in the lake.
Yeah, and the other thing to talk to Jim and Kathy about is the muck. Somebody tried these pellets, aerobic pellets, in 2015 from the archives that I looked at in the village hall. And there were no results, no follow-up on it that I could find. But there's one place that says they took out 18 inches of muck in one season, you know. And the other ones say 4 inches of muck. And I say, well, it's had 80 years to get this deep, you know, we can afford it. If we lose 4 inches of muck a year, we'd get there. I wouldn't get there, you young guys. So that's where I'm at. I'm promoting, I'll look into the Eco Harvester. I'd like to talk to you and Kathy Duff and investigate the muck thing more. Let me get one more thing out here, and that's sewers, sanitary sewers. I ran across something, and I think I sent it to everybody. There's a report, a guy said that I got a septic genie in my septic tank, and there are other brands. They're all the same thing. There's three of them fight each other. But I got a report that I think I sent to you, that somebody said, you can put these things in and you don't have to do a community sewer because it'll take care of all of your septic leakage. So there, so I'll investigate it more, put it on the agenda.
Which one is that? Because you mentioned a couple of options, didn't you?
I think I sent you a thing.
You did, but just remind me.
There's Piranha,
Yeah,
Piranha.biz, Sludgehammer.com, and Septictini.com. And if you talk to Septictini or Sludgehammer, be ready for some vicious language about their former partners. But mine's working fine as far as I know, and they say that the biomass that grows, that ruins a septic field, the aerobic bacteria gets in there and destroys the biomass, and your septic system works better, and it destroys the nitrogen too. And that's my speech, and I'll go home.
So I guess so what do we want to do for next steps with the harvester thing? You want to see if they want to come and talk? Or what?
Sure, or them, or the pond guy. There's a pond guy out here in Armada. He'd like to come and talk, because I don't know if it's you or Kathy Duffy. It was 2015 they tried it in one of the canals, and for some reason there was no follow-up.
Okay.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to all those people.
Okay.
And I told you, I wrote it.
I say we could probably, I mean, I don't know what services Paul Hausler provides either, if he has any chemical treatment of muck.
That's another one, because I was going to send out this request for these people to give us a proposal to do something. And Dave wisely said, maybe you ought to talk to the board first, and maybe we ought to have Paul Hausler here before we step on too many toes. So I leave that with you guys. What do we do with Paul Hausler?
I mean, Paul is a consultant,
Yeah.
right? And he's and he's giving us a management program and guiding us on where to use the harvester. And
I wanted to know, that's right, I wanted to know if I could call him, if it would cost the village money.
No, you can call
if I called this guy.
Paul,
Yeah.
you can call him. Or shoot him an email. We'll get back to him. They're on contract to talk to us. So.
Okay, I'll ask Dave again, because
Yeah.
he was hesitant about that.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's just a matter of what, they're our consulting, engineering consulting company for how to manage the lake, so we can use them for a variety of things. Certainly if they have treatment options, or if we want to find out if they offer treatment options for
Yeah.
things that we're concerned about for
It
buck or
comes down
something.
to, am I touching, well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll
I can
talk to
send you his contact information if you want.
No, I have it,
You do?
yeah, but I'll ask Dave again and say, all those guys on the board said I could do it. So,
Yeah. I don't see why it would be a problem. I mean, as long as you're not calling them every day. Okay. Like I said, I'm as somebody that lives on the other side of the bridge, I'm all for a harvester that fits under the bridge.
Hey, you know Lee Anderson?
Who?
Anderson, he lives on the other side of the bridge. too.
No, I don't.
Second house
Yeah.
in.
Lake enforcement issues, I don't think we have anything to discuss there right now. Boat cleaning station signage, here we go,
All right,
Rob. You
So,
got a proposal.
I got my 3 estimates, and the
What are we
most
doing?
affordable one is from Lloyd Waters and Associates, who actually is a resident here in the village. And
$65.
Yeah.
Ship it.
so, I don't know if you know, so what sign we're talking about is over at the boat cleaning station. I don't know if you've ever seen the sign. There's a sign there, but if you can read it, good luck, because it's completely faded and you can't see anything.
Okay.
So I
The
said,
boat-
either we take it down or we put one up. So I called the DNR and they said, no, we should have one there. And they said, but that's on you guys to do. So I said, okay. So I asked them, I sent them an idea of what it would look like. They sent me the font and everything, so I got it and I sent it to these 3 different companies, and these are the.
Do we still fill that boat cleaning chemical?
Sometimes,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
We intend to
it is.
keep the station.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so we
yeah.
should replace the sign.
So we should replace the sign. So as you can see, Waters and Associates come out at a very reasonable price, and their quality is good. They've actually done the other signs for us as well, so, some other signs,
Okay.
so I'd like to make a motion
Yeah.
to have the board approve Lloyd Waters and Associates for the fee listed there.
Yeah, so let's just, you want to just do a not to exceed? Let's just say, yeah.
Yeah, not
to exceed $70.
$70, yes.
Okay, so,
What's the contractor's name again?
Lloyd Waters and Associates.
so the motion is to,
Second.
I second that, you second that, perfect. All right, so it's to have Lloyd Water and Associates remake the sign for the boat cleaning station at a cost not to exceed $70. Motion by Rob, seconded by Mr. Newman. Roll call vote.
So I say Schaaf,
Jerry?
Huh?
yep,
Yes.
Say yes.
I'm sorry,
Snyder,
Yes.
Jankowski.
Yes.
Martini. Newman.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes.
So here's another interesting sign situation. So remember I also talked about the Huron watershed sign that was over here, that too was faded. You could barely see the that bird that was on there. So I called DNR, said, that's not us, that's Oakland County or something. So I called the county, I said, hey, look, we've got this sign that it's an eyesore. You can't see it, it's just there. I said, can you please replace it? And they said, well, we don't know if we've got the, because they have that on all the lakes all around here. I've noticed it, and they're all faded and look terrible. Next thing I know, that sign is not there anymore. I think we just took it down. I'm like, okay with me.
It's like it's no longer an eyesore.
I'm like, where'd the sign go?
They fixed the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone.
Like, you wanna complain about it, we'll just take it down.
Hey,
They won't call again.
Right.
okay. All right, septic field update, I think we touched on this. Is there anything else you want to add for septic field update?
I want to add this.
What's that?
I sent this to the members, I think, on January, I got it dated January 21st, and it says improvements of Wolverine Lake water. And I think I sent this to everybody, and that's when I got a call from David that says, or did I call and ask him if I should send it to Progressive? And we decided maybe we should wait until after the February meeting. But it's a description of our lake and our problems, and I was gonna send it to, I think, the 3 places I mentioned.
So,
Is that this thing you sent? That doesn't look.
I'm not gonna lie, I've got,
extensive, this thing.
from the last meeting till now, I've got at
No.
least 10 emails from you, so which one is it?
No, maybe I just kept that in my seat.
I don't remember that one.
There's draft list for discussion, February meeting, request from potential suppliers, eco harvester, keeping nitrogen out of our lake, selling the harvester. I didn't get through all these ones.
I'll send it again. Okay, sorry. Maybe
No, I'm just trying, I'm not sure which one.
What's the elevator speech of what you've got there for you?
The elevator speech?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the quick.
Oh, the quick is, this is our lake, this is our problem, we already know where our lake is and what our problem is.
What, can you just summarize those points? What is the
Well,
problem?
that's what I did.
Yeah, just tell me.
You want to hear it?
What are
Yeah.
the problems?
Muck that ranges from
Okay.
from no muck to over 5 feet deep. Well,
Okay,
there's a
so
little
we're
light on that.
following up on that, okay.
Canals that are clogged enough to make parts unnavigable. Weeds that are cut several times a year and hauled away. Weeds adding to the muck. Algal blooms. Over 200 households, I think it's 195, around the lake that use septic systems, many of which are over 40 years old, and I could.
Is this the same, the Excel spreadsheet for the discussion list? Because this sounds similar,
It
but
looks like
doesn't.
Yeah, well, I-
that looks like that. I don't have
It
that.
sounds similar, but it doesn't sound like the same. I went through a lot of these, but.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is one I wanted to.
Does it look like this one?
Yeah, I think that's.
The
what-
lake
I
problem,
think that's the
septic.
That looks like what it's looking
Yeah.
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 I don't know if I have that.
Yeah, I have it.
And
So
then I asked-
do we want to talk through, I mean, I wouldn't just take this and send it to Progressive. I mean, do we want to talk through some of these things now? Go through some of these?
Well, we kind of talked about the muck, right? And the
Well,
who's
it's
following
a
up.
quarter to 9, and I was trying to.
No, it's okay. Right, we can go through some of this stuff. You want
Okay.
to pick a couple? There's a septic topic here, the muck topic.
Speaking of septic, with that SAD, whatever happened with that?
They're still collecting names?
They are?
Yeah.
But they've not done anything with
It's
it?
on the discussion for tomorrow night. I can't say that our work
work session.
Oh, it is.
So we're gonna talk about it, figure it out what we gotta do in the past.
Did I send you that thing about, maybe you don't need it?
No, well, it's already on the agenda for tomorrow.
Okay,
So we're
okay.
gonna see if it is and if we can get a following. I know you guys have had experience in the past
Yeah.
making people aware of the program, so sounds like that's gonna be a topic of discussion for tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. $2,000 rather than $20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's for the septic thing, but if you put a 100-foot addition on your house, you still have to
Okay.
hook up.
Yeah.
There's other things going on.
Okay, so if we just want to go through some of the,
See which ones are,
I was talking about sending, I'm a member of the Management Board, need your opinions in mid-March. We would like to know what your company can do for us. Can it be done on one lot at a time, rather than the whole lake at a time? Rough estimates, tough to do. Where have you been successful, and who can we contact for references?
What are we talking
I'm
about?
sorry,
What's the-
Jerry, what's the specific topic you're asking for help from?
The whole thing, fixing our, the muck.
If you send a company a list of 85 line items and say,
No,
what
no,
can you
no,
do for me,
no,
it's
no,
never
no,
gonna work. We
no.
need to narrow the focus.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Because are you focusing on the septic systems or the muck?
This one is the muck, yeah.
Okay.
What you're talking
Well-
about is the muck, then?
Let's see, I have to reread my own stuff. I guess I'm talking about what they can do for us. You know, can you, like Weeder's Digest, they do harvesters, the eco harvesters, they do muck away, they do thrusters. They might want to do a lot for us. This Ever Lakes, Ever Blue Lakes, they got these wonderful rave reviews of what they can do for cleaning up a lake.
sure. So I would say let's narrow the scope of the
Okay.
topic. So in this document that you sent, there's a thing on weed harvesting, there's a thing on septic, greenaway drain, canals, sewers. So let's start with one of them.
Yeah,
What do we want to talk about? We can spend some time now talking about it, figure out what we want to do next. Septic, muck. I would recommend, let's narrow it to like one topic and then the next topic, and then before you reach out to a bunch of people. That's the same thing.
oh, it is, okay.
That's it, you have it. So like,
Yeah, but that's,
just because it's first
Just
thing,
printed it smaller.
just because it's the first thing,
Yeah.
the septic, is that the same thing?
I think he's looking at a different
yeah, I'm
thing.
looking at a different thing
Oh,
that
okay.
apparently I don't know, who's that? Dave saw it, I guess, and
Yeah, what we have is an
Okay,
Excel
yeah.
spreadsheet that says discussion list.
Yeah, that's
That,
what I'm looking at too.
right?
Yeah.
Discussion list
So
here.
so this is what you sent with all the topics that are bolded on the left side. Is what you're referring to the same thing?
no, I'm talking about a later one. This one.
Let's see.
February 17th, no, that's even later, yeah. I agree, I shouldn't have sent that out.
February 14th, you had one about keeping nitrogen out of the lake.
Okay.
Is it that one? Lawn care, nitrogen, septics?
Unfortunately, I redid my book on how I had it. Let me start with, I won't send it out. I'll look at the eco harvester and get more information. And at muck, I'll talk with Jim and Kathy.
Okay. Yeah, I think, and Kat, I can send you Kathy's information. She probably has some,
Okay.
at least they dug up some information on like what would be involved in dredging and what's allowed and what's not allowed. They looked into different companies and stuff like that. So I can send you her contact
Okay.
information.
Sure.
And you
Fro-
mentioned the Greenway Drain. Where's the Greenway Drain at?
Bottom of Penny Lake.
That's bottom of Penny Lake,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
And we spent $30,000 on it several years ago.
yeah. It was to like, it was physically clogged or something, I think. I can't remember. Do you
Replace a
remember?
bunch of the actual substructure, all the rocks. It's actually, it's an engineered actual port too. It's not just a water pathway
Oh.
to it. So they actually dug it out, put the actual different layers of material, rocks, reinforced it. It was all washed out over the floor, right? So
Isn't there, there's some information about it still polluting our lake, though?
Yeah, I mean, it is
Someplace.
it is an entryway into our lake, right? And that particular drain picks up rainwater from all of the roads and stuff south, right? I mean, we're in a watershed.
I mean, there's a map, it's probably on your thing you did, what shows where all the drains are. There's like, I don't know, there's like
I've seen it.
hundreds of drains around the lake.
Yeah, but the Greenaway is one of the ones that, it's an inlet, right? So,
Yeah.
and anything that comes off the roads in that area, and that is an area where it enters the lake.
And somewhere there are reports that say how much pollution it puts into our lake. And somebody's got it, it was done sometime. And that's, a lot of my questions are here, is I see it reported in places, but I don't know where it came
Where,
from.
where the information is?
Yeah.
So I'll give you, I just sent you, this is not official list of information, I just sent
Does he
you
have access to
a link to this drive, right? So this is where I keep all my information. It's got,
Super.
it's broken out by things for the harvester, for algae, the goals, our maps, the treatments schedule, safety fair, the lake level, fish, bird, boat count, all the information that I have it on a shared drive, I sent it to you.
Wonderful.
You can read all that stuff.
Good, then I can reduce this pile.
That's where I keep it, that's the only way, that's why I'm always on my laptop here, because I don't feel like bringing a book like that. But it's the only way that I don't, and most of the information then, like if it's old service, one of the things you were asking about was the, we put dye in the septic systems to see where it would come in or whatever. I don't know where the results for that is, but I know that we did that study, but
Okay,
Dave might
yeah,
have
but
that.
just to know, we don't know what the results are.
Dave might have that,
We don't
though.
know.
Yeah, but that was like a lead into us getting the infrastructure installed in the first place, and then the infrastructure's installed, and the reason why it was installed is like, this is an enabler. It's one of the enablers to help prevent that, right?
Yeah, need somebody who can write that stuff up good and put it in the bulletin. and say,
Yeah.
Make your lake wonderful and get that nitrogen out of there.
Yeah.
Drop this $2,000 item into your existing septic tank,
Yeah.
and we'll solve a lot of problems.
So, just reviewing your notes and things like that, I guess to sum it up is, a couple things would be, I think future discussion, we're gonna talk about the new harvester, which would help with the muck, and then, the nitrogen. One thing that I would suggest possibly if these systems reduce nitrogen from leaving septic systems to go into the lake is talk about, could we do like a SAD in the sense of having many residents at once buy, these units to improve their septic systems and septic fields so that less nitrogen is going into the lake, and maybe we can get through this company a group discount if we're, say, we're gonna buy 50 units, what kind of price could you give us, and if enough community members are interested in improving their septic system and helping our lake, then that's something that could possibly be beneficial. I kind of, to sum up your notes and my own suggestion.
We could probably get their attention. We might sell 50 of these, but we need more information.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
You know what's interesting is that the inlets and outlets I have in here, but the actual drain as part of the watershed, the drain locations, which are all around the lake and the street level, they're not in here. So it's something we might want to.
There was a map
There was a
somewhere.
map somewhere. I'll have to go find that. I don't have that in this map, though. We have the general inlets and outlets, but we don't have the actual watershed drains on the map, which I should add. Yep.
But back to Kyle, back to your point, I mean, how is that gonna interfere with the other SAD we have?
Well, actually, I was thinking about it, it probably wouldn't be a SAD. I think SAD goes along with your taxes, so I think it would be more of a group discount. Yeah, I think it would just be like a one-time, I think because we're not talking about $18,000, or the units are between, what, 8 and 1,500?
Yeah.
So 8 and 1,500, and then if residents, I would assume the majority of residents are gonna want it installed, so like we could talk to a company, get a company, say, hey, we have 30 people, whatever, interested in these units, get a group discount from the company, selling the units, possibly get a nice price for the company installing the units since they're installing multiples, and then just have them, see what kind of interest we have in the community. Are you guys, we talked to this company, it's supposed to help your septic system, could improve the life, could improve the length, as an alternative to hooking up to sewer, because, a lot of people don't want that, even $1,800 on their taxes for 10 years. So that could be something that community members could be interested in, helping their budget and helping the lake. So it would probably be, I don't think it would be I would assume that it wouldn't be a put on your taxes thing, because it would be a smaller fee. I'm guessing, under 5,000, just ballparking. So I think that would probably be my own assumption. It might be easier just to do a one-time fee, than try to coordinate with the taxes and all that. And we could even put out like a bid, for a company to, any companies that are interested in installing 20 to 50 units, and then give us a price if there's 20 houses that want it installed, and the price if there's 50 houses that want it installed per house.
Right.
It's just a couple ideas to piggyback off of Jerry's idea.
There's 3 of these outfits, right? The one that I got, you buy it, you put it in yourself. There are 2 others, and for some reason they require that they survey it and look at it, and they charge $6,000 about.
Then they do the install?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could get 2 prices.
Yeah.
One from one company saying how many people want it installed themselves, and make sure it's okay with the city, which I would think is fine, because you get your septic pump, is really no different, you're just dropping something in. And then, the other option would be, let's talk to this other company, and how much would you charge for the install and the unit at a group discount?
Good.
You're saying that, what do you mean? Just like water flowing in? No, I know that, but like, as opposed to all those other ones.
Those are from the road. Yeah, those ones are literally road drains.
Oh, these ones are like underground or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like this is like literally in the road.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we are at 9. So we're gonna go to liaison reports for village and planning. Mr. Newman.
All right, since last time we met together, we obviously had an election.
True story.
I'm back.
You're back, you made it. You made the cut.
New member to the council is Ms. Erin Laybourne. I'm sure she's around, she's pretty involved in the community and everything like that. Excited to have her. Just to give you an update, the new council president is Mr. McNutt, and the pro temp is Mr. Duff. Let's see, what else I write in this little thing? What are you talking about? Parks and Rec.
Council president and pro tem are just nominated by the council?
Yes. Yep. So we go through the election, everyone's in positions too, and then at the election, I have to reset who's gonna run the show and who's gonna be number 2.
And that's just people at council?
On council, yep, we vote for it. We have to make a motion and vote for it. We also did our committee assignments, so a lot of them stayed the same, but of course we
got stuck with you
Nedra
again.
was, what?
We got stuck with you again?
Me? I kept
You
it.
got stuck with
I
us.
kept it. They're like, you wanna give it up? No, I'm staying
These
here.
guys are easy.
We got stuck.
And then, Yeah, so we did all committees, we lost an intro, so we had to fill a couple vacancies. If you guys hear, Parks and Rec is actually gonna, they're trying to put together a farmer market on Tuesdays. And it's gonna be later too, so people actually be able to go hopefully
midday?
after work. Yeah, not, until 10 o'clock on Walled Lake. That's pretty awesome. We did our audit, we're good standings, didn't spend too much money, didn't blow out everything too, so everything was healthy. And we had one of our DPW laborers, they do a lot of work with us, we retired first year. And then we have a new gentleman named Blake Higgins who joined us and filled that spot. So, a lot of moving around, but we're in good shape, good standing, and keep moving forward.
Cool.
All right, planning commission.
Yes. We gave Brian Nedrow a nice plaque for his decades of service on the planning commission, which was kind of nice. We heard an appeal for a group known as Behavior for All. Yeah, Behavior for All, that helps troubled kids. And they'd like to hold sessions at the Shepherd of the Lakes Church. And we're considering allowing that variance. So that's the major thing right now that we're doing. That's it.
Man, I missed the chicken discussions. When Paul would give his report.
I know, right?
I bet there's still permits open.
Is there?
I bet there is.
Weren't there only like 5 or so?
Yeah, it's just a handful. It's just a handful. There was a-
And all this uproar about it, and people
I
aren't even
haven't-
pulling the permits.
I haven't heard a chicken yet.
I mean, I know, that we all know that, I don't know who has it, but I see the chickens on, like McCoy's side, just running around. They're around.
Free range.
Right.
Really? They just run around the neighborhoods?
Like, once every 3
You're gonna
months,
give Rob a heart attack.
Driving to work. It's chicken. It's a chicken.
Really?
I would tell you.
But I thought that was the whole part of the thing, not to let that happen. When things supposed to.
What people do inside.
Rob's gonna be calling the police.
I'm gonna go get some chicken.
It's a loose chicken.
Winner, winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, chicken dinner, there you go.
So all of the chicken talk, and only, not even, so maybe I'll get some chickens. I'm gonna move in next
You
to
can't,
Rob.
you can't on the lake. You can't go if you're on the lake.
Oh, no? Lakefront's not allowed?
No.
Gotta be across the street. Gotta get a surrogate.
Give it to your neighbors.
Alright, I'll have to lease somebody
So
else's.
see if your neighbors will do it for you. You guys can
I don't- yeah.
split the eggs.
Ironically, the way my street is structured, I don't have any neighbors that are not on the lake. All right,
We'll find Rob's neighbor.
yeah,
Thanks.
right across the street. All right, comments from board members.
I just made my.
Good, okay. Next meeting is March 19th. Feel good?
Yep.
All right, let's get some
Motion to
thoughts. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right.